Hi, my name's Alicia Torres. I'm a student at ASU, and this is my presentation on person-centered therapy. So Carl Rogers was the founder of person-centered therapy. He was born January 8th of 1902 and had passed away February 4th, 1987. He was born in Oak Park, Illinois. He actually was the fourth of six children. He received his bachelor's in University of Wisconsin in 1924. 1928, he got his doctorals, and then in 1930, he actually was a worker in the New York State in Human Services. He was a director, guidance counselor at the University of Chicago, and in 1940, he changed his approach to the client-centered therapy. So that is Carl Rogers. So the history of person-centered therapy started when Carl was working with children in school-aged back in the 1920s. He was really influenced by the progressive of the education movement in the clinical psychology. And then in 1928 to 1940, he fostered he actually was, the father. So he fostered the person-centered theory by working with children and adults in the Rochester Guidance Center. He was specifically really intrigued by two clients that when there was a relationship built, he did see a significance in self-acceptance, self-insight, and it was all due to that approach of building the relationships. So in 1940, Mr. Rogers, he was a professor, and those students challenged him and wanted him to get more insight on the effectiveness of the psychotherapy. So because of that, he started writing books as well. So he wrote a book, Counseling and Psychotherapy, and then actually, I wouldn't say coined, but he just really made that term client really popular in the psychology counseling era. In 1945 through 1957, he established a counseling center that helped out many clients and thousands of hours of counseling. And then in the 1951, Roger and a few other colleagues wrote a book of the client-centered therapy that's still used today. So major tenets of the person-centered theory, it was built on relationships, building that relationship with the client and the counselor or psychologist. They work as a team, so there's no possessive likes or dislikes. It's empathy driven on the counselor's part, feel their feelings. And typically if the client is feeling loved by others, then they will learn to love themselves. And if they feel listened to, they're likely to listen to their own thoughts and feelings. And it just changes the expressions from a negative to a positive, especially when the counselor talks low and slow with a soft voice. It makes that client feel a little bit more at ease, just as you would as a normal conversation with someone like a friend. So there's no judgments either. And it makes that client feel a little bit more like they're being heard. So some techniques. Again, it's the listener speaker. So the client will be talking, the therapist kind of listens. The therapist is more of a facilitator and supporter to give encouragement to the client. The counselor therapist is gonna be non-judgmental. Like they're not going to push their thoughts and feelings on the situation or to the client. and then they're going to suggest some positive steps for healing and growth. So they're going to talk, but they're going to really just let that client do majority of the talking, just building that relationship like you with a friend, and they're explaining their problems to you. The therapist is going to be compassionate. Some three major techniques that really is being used is congruency, so being authentic and genuine, being real with that person. Unconditional positive regard, being accepted, making that client feel accepted. And then empathy. The counselor is going to show empathy, so they're going to feel those feelings as if they're going through the same situation with them, so they can give that information based on those feelings. Some applications of the person-centered theory: transfer, co-transference, be present in the moment, don't be distracted, therapeutic movement. There's so many things are changing, so this is actually just it's an old approach, but it's still being used today, so it's just so cool. And then you're using the past, let them talk about the past, and then about the present, so they can move forward. It's there and then and here and now kind of philosophy. They got to learn to trust oneself. The self-esteem, building that self-esteem for them, showing them that they're worthy, self-actualization. The therapist and the client are a team, so it's not just the client that's doing all the work or the therapist doing all the work. It actually is a team working together.
And these are some inspirational quotes, some that are very dear to me. The one of my favorite is, "I'm not perfect, but I am enough." I think that is tattoo worthy on that one. But he has a ton of quotes and inspirationals. So I also embedded a video, just like a quick overview. It was kind of a cute little video, but also in the mix of trying to get this thing to work and upload it, I also did my own video last night and said the reason why I picked him, and because I feel with the therapy that I'm going to go into for veterans and family, it's really good to build that relationship built on foundation of trust. So that's what that video actually is. So and then obviously my references.
Carl Rogers, client-centered therapy.
Hi, my name is Alicia.
And my references, there was a ton of references. I did a little voiceover on this one too, and there was a ton of references. There was more than actually what I put in here. So that was the end of that presentation. So if I can get this to stop, I will. And but I also did a transcript on each one of these slides that I have, and it is down here on the bottom of each of these slides. There's transcripts, so I did do the transcript, but I don't know how to do a transcript now on this because I couldn't even get it to do on a Zoom, nor a couple other platforms. Apparently I have a Chromebook and it's not so good of one that I'm able to do a lot of different things. So I'm using Castify, I think. I don't know, but hopefully you're able to get this one. So I do appreciate your time, and this was my presentation.